G'day, g'day. It is Monday, the 10th of August, 2026, start of the week. So we'll just check in with what happened last week on the weekly charts, and very obvious sign that we moved strongly away from the 4,000 level, and we've taken out numerous previous weeks highs that had been untouched, and we didn't quite get to not the high of June, which would have that's that big outside month, but we're sort of really looking at this probably weekly high in here. So we'll just pop that in there. Of course, it'll be a previous day's high. So dropping down, um, two really strong moves throughout the week on Wednesday and of course on Friday's NFP, which we'll have a look there. And looking at the daily chart, we can see just so much liquidity that was building up through here, I guess, with positions looking to take 4,000 and lower, people who are very bearish on gold. All those positions now have been forced to exit their trades, and that has provided a lot of fuel for moving up, as well as like there was a lot of central bank buying around the 4,000 level, and that's now expanding out. Anyone who traded sort of daily pin bars and things like that, if you'd taken a break on this sell, you would have been fine, but getting in there, you've been run over completely on Friday. We'll start getting lines out of the way now. Just taking a snapshot of last week. I mean, gold was up 5% for the week. Um, Jobs report was really the big news, and when we look down at the lower time frames, we'll see the July NFP. The big thing is about with news result is about the miss. You know, did it hit what the forecast totals would be, and that sort of doesn't send shockwaves through the market. But payrolls fell by 23,000. There was expectations of plus 80,000, so it's the first outright monthly decline in a while. And also the May and June numbers were revised down very heavily, and so that puts a dampener on the economic outlook for the US, which encourages the Fed not to raise rates. So their next meeting is September, and the odds of a rate rise have now fallen from 63% to 55%. So a lot of analysts will have all of that data now in front of them, and traders will be sort of very wary of looking to see if the rate hike will happen in September or not. Geopolitically, there's still de-escalation in the Middle East. The deal is still on the table, but of course, been many, many times to this result, and there's a lot of skepticism around whether that will actually pan out to be a deal will be made and peaceful process will ensure that the Straits of Hormuz will open up again. This week coming up, very, very heavy data as well. We've got the July CPI figures, PPI figures, more jobless claims, University of Michigan inflation expectations, which all have great effects on especially the gold market, as it's heavily reliant on US movements in news to alter price. VIX is actually surprisingly really low. Just quickly, VIX is like 14.9, up above 20s, very volatile. 14.9 is quite passive. Silver is still doing very well. Seems to be sort of outstripping gold at the moment, but gold's had a fantastic week. So we're well above the July high. I'll keep that on there, but I'll get rid of this now. I'll start clearing up the daily chart first, get rid of sort of stuff I was looking at over the weekend. We will alter this now to the psychological level of 4,500 and lock that in. Okay. Can we see sort of price found support from there, tried to break through multiple times, and then finally broke down, retested it and failed, and then we had that strong sell-off. So we'll keep 4,500 on the radar. Don't need that anymore. So this is the June highs, June lows. So this is the big outside month where July is inside, but we've now broken that. If there is a pullback, I'd like to see it pull back to here for more buying. I'll get rid of that. And you can see that before this move up on Friday, we didn't grab the previous day's low. So sometimes that's a good sign that liquidity might start to build below there, and they'll come back down, stop out sort of buyers who haven't taken profit up here. But then again, it could just keep running. So that's a very, very strong move out of there. They've kept it sideways for quite a while, and we could start to move higher. We will just trade what we see on the charts. 5 minutes. What's all this mess, hey? Where are we? Switch on my algo pivots. Okay, where are we? So that automatically puts in the previous day's high for me now. So I know that that's a target. We are sitting at the point of control, which we'll just check. Now, yeah, sort of interesting. Couple of high value nodes there. So it could be sort of anywhere around this area. We've already come up to test it. So we've rejected the upper value level and pushing up to the point of control. So there's a quick bounce off there. This could, yeah, so this could be the target, the previous day's high. If we break back down through here, we could look to a return to value trade or a fade value extreme back down to the previous trading day's pivot. So that's what we'll look at for now.